Hey everybody, it's Rich from BilletSPIN. I'm really excited to do this video with you today. You are looking at the Pandora top, and this is a design that I have been working on for several months now. And I had something kind of unique in mind when I wanted to design the Pandora, and that was I wanted to make a top that somebody would have to look at for a few minutes to really understand how this top was made. And basically, the main theme that I had when starting out is I wanted to do alternating materials. This is a bronze spud and then a copper tooth here. And I wanted to do that on a alternating materials, but on the same circle. But then I wanted to hide how I did it using a cover so that somebody would have to look at it and say, well, gee, how did you do that? The other thing I want you to notice is, for you machinists especially out there, this face on top of this boss has a turned face pattern. Okay, it's been faced off, where that's not really possible because this boss sticks up higher than that, and so if you were to face this off, these would be wiped out. So that was kind of the thing. It was kind of like a little puzzle for even a machinist, an experienced machinist, to look at and say, gee, I wonder how he did that. Now, there's several ways to do it. This isn't rocket science or anything like that, but I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So if you're into how it's made type videos, you're going to love this one. So let's get right into it. The Pandora is made from 4 different pieces, 5 if you count the ball, okay? And the machining that's involved in order to make this, get everything to fit right and to be balanced, is it's quite an undertaking, I will tell you. This is a very, very, very tricky top to make. So let's get right into it. There are 9 operations, 9 different operations in order to make the Pandora. We'll start with this one. This is operation number 1. That means if I wanted to make a Pandora from start to finish, I would need 9 different CNC machines set up at the same time in order to generate one top. So you can imagine there's a lot of work involved here in order to make this top. But this is operation number 1. And this is operation number 2. And this assembly right here is the guts of the Pandora and really what allow it to do what I designed it to do. And now, just so you know, these pieces are made just for this video only because they fit together. The assembly and how these pieces stay together, we have to make these a little bit different. But just for the sake of the video, to show you how the guts of this thing works, we made these pieces special. So they're a little dirty, beat up. Hope you can forgive me. But anyways, these 2 pieces go together. See if I can get them to fit here. Okay. They go in just like this. And they are tight. There's a little chamfer on the copper there, which makes it look like there's a gap, but they're not. They're tight. And there's no play in there whatsoever. And that's how they fit together, okay? So that's operation 1 and 2. And that's really, coming up with this was really the difficult part of the entire design, to be honest with you. Once that's done, we take it and we put it in the machine, and we do this, operation number 3, okay? And in this operation, we orient the spuds here in the machine so that they get milled in the proper places. We do some facing here. We bore the hole out for the stem. We mill in here. We do some nice chamfering, some nice chamfer edge machining up on the bosses and teeth here. And comes out looking like that. And by now you guys are saying, oh, that's how he did it. And then after that, so that's operation number 3. Operation number 4 is we flip it around and we mill the teeth here. And these teeth are oriented to this side. So the teeth here are oriented with the teeth here. And that's very important for the back end assemblies. So operation number 4. Now you can imagine all of the tolerances and stuff that we got to hold at this point they're ridiculous. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. It's crazy. In order to get this so that it's perfectly balanced, everything has to be held just really, really crazy tight. So this is the guts of it. This is the This is what allows us to make the top and holding all these fits perfect to make it not wobble. And so that's the tricky part. Next, we have to make the outer collars, okay? And we're going to get into this. We're going to get into the back side a little bit more in a little bit here. But these two are different. They're not the same. They look similar, but they are different. And the front and back are different. So this is what the next operation looks like, okay? So we've got 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And then what we have to do is take 7 and 8 are doing the second sides of these. Now you can see they're different. If you look at the width of the tooth here and the width of the tooth here, this is the grip side collar and this is the ball side collar. And so what happens is now all these fits have to be perfect. The pocket here has to match the pocket here. And, you know, everything has to line up. But then also the fit of this bore to the outside of this piece has to be perfect. Now, what I want you to look at are these little ridges in here. And what these little ridges do is when they're assembled, this one, we'll look at this one first. This is what rests on this surface here. And what it does when you look at it sideways is there's a gap in there on here and in here. And once we assemble this, put this together, I'll show you this. But that gap really adds some dimension to it, and it makes it look really, really cool. So let's see. Even though I made these for this video, everything is still held so stinking tight. It's hard to, and I'm on the spot here with, okay. So there you have it. Now, I want you to look now. See if you can see it. You see the gap underneath here? See that? Yeah, I'll leave it down here. I think you can see it. So that's what that surface does, is it gives it that gap. Makes it a little bit even more confusing to say, hey, I wonder how that was done. And I just think it adds a lot of dimension. This is just one of those tops that you're going to have to look at for a while to really see all these details. Now, you can see this, because these milled out pockets ride on the bosses here, that it automatically lines up the teeth there. Now on the bottom side, this one goes together, and again the fit has to be absolutely perfect. And then this is hand aligned. See how this can rotate? So we have a method to align these things like so. So there you have it. Now you can see, let's go back to this one. Now you can see how I made that thing. See how you can see the little teeth in there? So I made it so that when it's assembled, it just hides that. But I wanted to just barely hide it so that there was a gap. So when these two were put together, you could still see it added some color through those outer discs there. So I thought that was cool. So then, this is really important. This is where you could really screw up. Let's say that we put the contact point in next. Okay, so the contact point would fit in there. The problem you'd have is that it would seal the hole down here. Boy, that ball just wants to get away from me here. It would seal that hole, and then when you went to put the stem in, the air, well, this is the stem, operation number 9. A lot of machining on the stem. The grip pattern, it's pretty wild. And so the stem fits in here, but see, if that hole wasn't in there, the air would have no place to go. So it actually has to get assembled. These have to be lined up to the notches. And then after that, that's when we finally put the ball in. And we end up with the Pandora. So there you go. I ruined the secret. I ruined the magic trick for y'all. But I hope you can understand all that went into the design. I hope you can have an appreciation for the design, the machining that it takes to do this, to hold the tolerances in order to get this thing put together so that we don't have any wobble. There it is. 9 operations, 5 different pieces counting the ball to make the Pandora. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have yourselves a wonderful day. There'll be more videos coming out on the Pandora and when we're going to be doing releases and how we're going to be doing releases so that you can get your hands on one of these. So stay tuned for more details. We'll see you later.